It's a Halloween party, right? They're inviting them. All these people are being invited to the Palazzo.
So when they first enter the house, you see them telling the story of trying to scare the kids before the party, kind of like, oh, the legend of all the kids who died in the basement, and they got locked in here by nuns, doctors, and nurses, and they all died. And be careful if you see that here, kids. And
if you see a child, it might be a ghost.
The real party is afterwards, where all the adults.
They have a seance. Talk to the dead daughter, right? Is that what's going on?
The mom's trying to reconnect with the daughter.
Put on by Michelle Yeoh's character, who's supposedly this medium that can contact the dead child. And the story is that the girl was depressed, right? And she jumped off the balcony into the water and drowned.
No. She's not depressed. She's hearing things. And,
okay.
They think that the spirits are what, like, were attacking her kind of thing. And then that's what drove her basically insane. And the children are the ones who told her to jump off.
Yeah, these ghosts of children that supposedly haunt this palazzo. Right, that's it.
That story about the children were true, or they're just making that up?
Well, you kind of don't know in the beginning of, like, is it just a story? Is it actually true? Is it just like a Halloween kind of thing? But the caretaker of the house, the one who's like the maid servant lady, she believes it. She's like, oh my gosh.
Isn't she like very religious?
She's very religious.
Right.
Oh, and so the mom was using that story as an excuse.
Yes.
That's right.
That's what, yeah. The mom's using
it. And it turns out she was giving her, what was she giving her? It was...
So this is where the misunderstanding kind of happens, because it wasn't like she didn't want to murder her daughter. That was not the intent. It was get her away from the fiance.
And she disapproved of the fiance.
Yeah, the mom disapproved of the fiance. They had kind of broken off.
Because he's kind of a jerk.
The mom was thinking that he was after money. And it was never actually about that, because remember when the daughter was gone, he got with a new girl who was richer, kind of thing. And
right away, within 6 months, I think. Right.
But
right,
and then
right.
he actually had the picture of her, and he really did love her. We found out, and it was more than that to him. But the mother had kind of played it off as like he's a terrible guy.
The mother had
a cheater.
She painted him as a bad guy that he really wasn't. You know, more than anything.
No, I remember. Yeah.
She disapproved of it, so she kept.
Yeah, and she had convinced the daughter that even he had moved on from her, and he was kind of like, no, I didn't, and then she died, and he's heartbroken. They had broken off for some reason or the other, and the mom had made it seem like he didn't want to talk to her anymore, and kind of kept the daughter sick.
She was
by
like a
giving
buffer.
her that tea.
Right.
She was giving her daughter tea with some kind of poisoning kind of things to make her lucid and sick, and just.
It made her hallucinate and see things. Yeah, and so she thought it was the ghosts. Her mom was saying it was the ghosts, I guess.
Yeah, she was using
and that's what drove her crazy. And the daughter ends up jumping over the balcony and drowning. And so...
Because the servant...
Gave her more. Because she thought it was real medicine. She accidentally overdosed her on the hallucinogenic.
Was the twist.
And she...
Yeah.
That was an interesting twist.
Yeah, The servant had accidentally killed her by overdosing her, and then the mom found out that she had died and then blamed it on the children's spirits by giving her the mark of the children.
Yeah, she put the scratch on her back. Yeah, so she
threw her off.
Yeah. So she...
What's the main guy? Who's the actor that you guys keep saying?
Kenneth Branagh. Hercule Poirot.
He's almost murdered. And because they thought it was Michelle Yeoh, or they were trying to kill Michelle Yeoh, and then he realizes that and goes after her. But because he had been killed...
Let me stop you. Sorry. He was bobbing for apples, and someone came up behind him and held his face down in the water to drown Hercule Poirot. Yeah. So, yeah, and like she said, the hood over his head made it seem like he was the Michelle Yeoh.
Because that was her.
That was her outfit. So whoever was trying to kill him was actually trying to kill Michelle Yeoh. Now, when it's revealed later that it's the mom, that made that scene a little less believable, because I think that as a detective, he would be able to tell if it was a man or a woman who was holding him down.
Yeah, I tried to use my big brain when that happened, and I was like, so it's not one of the women, but I thought it was
but it was with the women.
Yeah, I was like, there's no.
Why did the mom kill Michelle Yao?
She killed her because. Give me a second. I'll get there.
I brought you in because you remember better than me.
Because maybe Michelle Yao was a real medium. Maybe Michelle Yao has already talked to the daughter, like actually legit talked to the daughter, and maybe the daughter said, "Hey, my mom killed me."
No.
That's what
That's
I
not
didn't
it.
get.
That would have been in the movie, though. I would have remembered that. No, because she was a fake. She didn't really talk to the dead. It was all a show, And Hercule Poirot figured it out immediately. He pulled one of the kids out of the chimney who was making the.
She did. Yeah, he debunked her almost immediately right after the seance.
Yeah. So you knew
So
that
why
she
was she
wasn't real.
killed? Why did they have to kill Michelle Yao?
Well, the mother maybe didn't know that she was a fake and thought that she was really talking to the dead daughter and trying to expose her.
I think that was it.
That would be the reason for her to kill her.
Because the minute that Michelle Yao was like, she had said, I've been murdered. Like, someone killed me. I think the mom believed that and then tried to kill. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I remember now. Yeah. Because then everybody was in the group and that's what the detective had said. He was like, well, whoever killed Michelle Yao remembers that she was talking. Somebody actually did murder the daughter, and I'm going to find out who it is because now we have 2 murders on our hand, basically. That's what it was.
Yeah.
The mom believed in her.
Yeah, she believed that she really
Was a medium.
could speak to the dead. Yeah.
For how did Michelle Yao knew that the girl didn't commit suicide and got murdered?
I don't think she knew. I think she just
just
I mean,
guessed
she's a
it?
medium. Oftentimes they'll come up with something
Right.
so that maybe they can come back and then keep talking to the ghost, or you know what I mean, things like that. Just saying like, oh, she was actually murdered, guys. You know, like she's just saying stuff. She's just saying stuff.
she
Putting
made
on a
a bad
show.
Just got
guess.
it was a lucky
Putting on a
guess.
show, and it's a lucky guess.
That's actually a good question, though, Paul.
That is a good
It's like, how would she know that? Yeah. So it's
So maybe she made a bad guess, and that's why she got killed, because she made a bad guess.
trying to think if there's anything else I didn't prefer in the movie. Maybe killing Dorian Gray was, or what's his name?
Dorian Gray.
Jamie Dornan.
Yeah, see,
Jamie
Yeah,
Dornan.
okay. Oh, that's another spoiler. We forgot. We didn't say this one. So the reason that he's killed, there's not a secret door. There's no secret door. It's just the mom calls him, and she's been getting blackmailed.
Oh,
And
yes.
and
Yeah.
I think
It was
that's-
the little boy, wasn't it?
Out
that's
of
what I
money.
was getting to. Yeah, she was getting blackmailed out of money because somebody knew the truth. Somebody knew
Right.
that she had murdered the daughter. Somebody very smart. Who could it be? So when the doctor is alone in the room, she calls him and says, you know, I know it's you who's been blackmailing me. I have your son in the room right now, and I will kill him if you don't kill yourself, if you don't die. And so then
God.
That's
he
right.
kills
was-
himself
He
to
kills
save
himself.
his son.
Yeah.
And then in the end, the detective is like, I know that it was you who's blackmailing her. It's not your fault. Your father died. And he's like, I know. And it's, yeah, it was so good. I loved
Yeah.
that. I was like, oh yeah. But also you killed my favorite character.
What a clever kid that knows how to blackmail.
He knows how to blackmail, and he's also the one who solved it. Like he knew. Sorry, I'm hitting the table with my knee. A big part of like the internal turmoil of the detective of like not knowing what to believe between it being like genuinely their ghost and they're not being ghost was because he had that tea that the mother gave him that was making him feel kind of, which he realized later was making him feel that way. But then the little kid also came in and was like, no, because you almost died from the bobbing apples, they can now talk to you and you can now hear these and see these things. And it's all real. And that's when he was like a little bit more suspicious. And by the end, he's kind of a believer. We see that in the very end with Tina Fey, the author, talking to him and saying, so you do believe, wait a minute. And he's just like, I'm not saying anything. I'm walking, I'm going, I'm out.
Yeah, so in the end, nothing was real. Nothing spiritual was real.
No, it's basically like I said. It's like the Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr., Guy Ritchie. That movie was the same thing, where all these supernatural occult things are happening. But Sherlock Holmes knows that there's an explanation for all of it. Like it's the killer trying to distract you. And in the end, he's gonna and that's the thing about this movie is that yes, it's presented as a ghost story, but I know that it's Agatha Christie and it's Hercule Poirot, and he's going to figure out that everything that you're seeing is a distraction from what's really happening. All of the ghosts were actually hallucinations from the chemical that was being.
I'd like
given
to
to the daughter.
disagree. But the only reason I'm really disagreeing is because in the end, even the detective slightly believed, and there was the scene where it had showed that the little girl he had seen was and he kept hearing her too, and even the son had said, "Did you hear that?" And then that's when he ran to chase the ghost. And there's no way the son didn't drink the tea, so him hearing that
They
was
keep the door. They leave the door open
They
for
leave the
sure,
door open.
so that you as the audience will think, "Oh, maybe it's real," because that's what a good movie does.
But
in terms of the murder mystery, yeah, it was.
listen, because even when he sees the little girl, then he realizes from seeing pictures that he hadn't looked at before. Then Tina Fey came up and ruined it, but that's okay.
I thought Michelle Yeoh should have had more screen time. Like
I was about to say that.
you couldn't be. They hired an Academy Award-winning actress, probably the best actor in that cast, and she shows up for 5 minutes. What I was expecting was that I thought she was gonna be the murderer,
Yeah.
and I thought she was gonna reprise in the end. Surprise! I didn't die. I thought that was
Yeah, it
gonna
did seem
happen.
shocking. I didn't think she was going to be the murderer, but I did have the thought that is she really dead? Because this does seem kind of sudden that she's gone already. But
Yeah, it was so weird.
I wasn't too surprised, to be honest. I really I was
No.
excited for her character to be in there, but I wasn't that surprised. Like, also
You
with the
knew
way
she
that
was gonna
movies-
die.
With the way that movies work, I was like, she's probably gonna die.
they bring in a big. That's what they do sometimes. They'll bring in a big name just so that they can die early, so that you'll be shocked as the audience. Like, no way. Yeah,
That was my thought
That's
process.
part of the reason they do it, so that you because you don't expect it. You do not expect them to die.